Okay, let's have a look at the collocations for 3 words. Collocations for precise. Be precise. Yes. Now you can't too precise something. It's not a verb. It's an adjective. Okay? Yeah, you have to have be in there to be precise, but that's the same as that one. So, precise information, indeed. Precise mind, no. You can have a sharp mind, like, I think if that's what you mean.
A precise mind.
You can't have a precise mind. You can't have a precise mind.
A sharp mind? Precise
Yeah.
mind.
The nearest thing I can think of is sharp mind or, yeah. Precise. He's trying to say sharp, you're observant, you know, you're looking at detail, accurate detail, something like that, but it doesn't work here. Precise amount, yes, not a precise image. You can have a clear image, but not a precise one. And a precise measure, E in there, measurement, yes.
Can we say precise tools?
Ah, that was an interesting one.
Yeah, precise too.
Not quite, but no.
Precise,
yeah, it is.
maybe, yeah.
Precision tools. That's the collocation.
Okay.
You have to change it to a noun.
As well as precision decision. Can we say? About
Precision decision.
Yeah.
If you're a poet and you're making a rhyme, but no, it's not a collocation. Precision tools.
Precise moment.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll just put it here, moment. Yeah, at that precise moment, I suddenly heard a bang. Yeah, that's right.
But precise moment similar, precise mind.
Precise mind. Mind and moment, very different things.
Mine
It's
is
totally
mine.
They both start with M.
Fine.
They both start with M, indeed. But apart from that, that's about it.
Besides writing,
Hey?
besides writing.
Not precise writing, clear writing. You know, so that you can read it and it's clear. Precise instructions is another one. I gave you precise instructions, very accurate.
Precise
and
is
clear.
like specific, right? Is
Yeah.
it the same meaning?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you can say specific instructions as
Yeah.
well. So we can add instructions there. Okay, let's move on. You can't enforce the army. The army will enforce, you know, the law or yeah. You can't really enforce a structure either. Yeah. And you can't enforce an argument. You can enforce a law. You can enforce obedience. You can enforce restrictions. Enforce a claim. Enforce the rules. Enforce legislation. Enforce the act. You can't enforce corporate. Corporate's you've got to have a noun for a start, don't you? There's an adjective. Even a corporation, you can't enforce. You can make the corporation obey the law, so you can enforce legislation so that corporations follow the law, but you can't enforce a corporation. So you can't enforce someone to do something. That's not how enforce works. You enforce the rule, the regulation, the law. That strict thing is what you enforce on other people or on the corporation. Yeah? Enforce discipline, yes. Strictly enforce, yes. Good. Adverb.
Compliance.
Sorry?
Compliance.
Compliance is a good one. Yeah. Enforce compliance. What's the verb there, Pavel? That's the noun. As I've said, return to the verb.
Comply.
Comply. Comply to do
Something.
what, like it's like obedience, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You follow the rules. Compliance. You comply. You get an order. You do what that order says.
No, since we can say enforce claims, why not we cannot say enforce arguments?
Because you can enforce a claim. This is like an insurance claim or a law, that kind of claim, legal claim, but not argument. You can't enforce that. It's because that is meant, not in the, I've used the term claim a lot when we're talking about critical thinking, not that kind of claim, philosophy argument, but a claim, a legal claim. I have a claim against you because you as the employer didn't keep a safe workplace, and you know, I lost half my arm, I want $50,000. I have a claim.
So usually works with only with the
Usually.
usually only works with the rules.
That's
laws,
right.
such
Yes, exactly. If you put that into just the word or AusDic, remember our resources, you'd find just about all of them are laws or rules or regulations, something like that.
How about enforced charge or enforced order?
Enforce
Charge.
order.
Yeah.
Order, yes. Charge, like money, like you owe me $61, not enforced charge. No. Yeah.
How about enforced fine?
No.
Fine.
You impose a fine. You impose a fine on someone, but not enforce. If the person refused to pay the fine, then you would enforce the law and, you know, increase the fine or send them to jail.
Social norms.
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 You could enforce norms. Yeah, they're kind of things that restrict behaviour or control it. Norms, yeah. Yeah. If you want to find more, that's a very good list. If you want to find more, you know, just the word AusDic will help you. All right, moving on. Capacity, memory capacity, yeah. Now, box capacity, you can't, yeah, you got a box. What's the capacity? You have to say what's the capacity of the box.
Oh.
You can't say the box capacity is. You can't put your noun in front. The room capacity, you could say about a room. Oh, what's the room capacity? Usually, just to be safe, some nouns you can, some nouns you can't. It's best to say, what's the capacity of the room? What's the capacity of the box? What's the capacity of the bucket? What you can do is this. That's the box's capacity, the room's capacity, the bucket's capacity is. So, possessive. If you do want to put the noun in front, it has to be possessive for that. Total capacity. Economic capacity, yeah. The engine capacity, yeah. You could. Again, I would tend to do that.
Possessive as well.
Yeah.
Lung.
You can do that without the. That's a medical complication. Mental capacity, yes. Limited capacity, nuclear capacity, yeah. Personal capacity, maximum capacity. Yeah, now this is an interesting one.
What?
You can't say a crowd capacity, but you put it in there. A capacity crowd.
What does it mean? I couldn't get that.
Okay, it means, imagine this room, it's got so many chairs, or it fits so many people, say it fits 40 people,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got 40 people in it, that's a capacity crowd.
So overcrowded.
Yeah,
For
it's
example,
full, it's
the lift-
full and you can't fit
The lift
any more.
capacity is 8 persons.
Yeah,
If we add some more,
yeah.
it will be a crowd capacity.
Well, really, look, a crowd, even in this room, I wouldn't describe it as a crowd. A crowd is like hundreds of people. So you've sort of got to get up into the hundreds before you start calling it a crowd. So if you said there was a capacity crowd at Adelaide Oval when Port Power played the Crows, and you got, 30,000 people or 40,000 or however, it can't fit any more. That's a capacity crowd. Usually used for like rock concerts or sport events or demonstration maybe. Yeah, a capacity crowd.
Exceeding capacity.
Exceeding
Exceed.
capacity. Yeah, you could.
Can we say out of capacity?
Not out of capacity.
Not that.
Beyond. You can
Beyond.
say it's beyond my capacity. Yep.
Can I say over?
Beyond, and then usually a possessive, like my or his or her. You need a possessive there.
Can I say over capacity?
Yes, you can. Yeah, as a like a and hyphenated, so it's like a compound adjective.
Production capacity.
Well, that is over. Even actually, you don't have to. You can do it like that. Excuse me. Or you say, oh no, that's over capacity. Too much.
Production capacity
The production capacity.
of a
Sounds
factory.
a bit funny. Capacity, the factory's capacity for production is, I would tend to do it like that.
Would be better.
You can't always put nouns in. You just got to be careful about. You got two nouns. Sometimes it works, doesn't it? Sometimes it doesn't. Tendency in Chinese to in Chinese, I think you can do that more. You can put words in front of your noun and other nouns, and it works. There's a tendency for Chinese writers to do that a bit too much, instead of the capacity of the factory's capacity. What would you say? The productive capacity of the factory, or the factory's capacity for production. That's how I'd say that. Whereas I think in Mandarin you can tend to build back from the noun. You tend to pre-modify more than we do. We tend to post-modify nouns. It's just a tendency.
We don't say producting capacity.
You don't?
We don't say producting capacity.
No, producing capacity?
Producing capacity.
Yeah. I'm not translating directly because I don't know the words, but I've just noticed that tendency. That what you're suggesting is putting things in front of the noun, and I'm saying the tendency is in English that with complex descriptions of things we tend to post-modify more than pre-modify. All right. Well, yeah, a bit of practice in collocations. A couple of other resources.
So sorry, can I ask one question?
Yeah.
In terms of the precise, so adjective, precise is adjective, right?
Yeah.
And the adverb is precisely.
Correct.
And the noun is precision.
Precision. That's
What is
right.
the verb? Does it have a verb form of the precise or there isn't?
No, there's not really. No.
Okay.
Only you have to be precise.
Precise.
That's right. What would be the nearest sort of verb? Depends what you mean, you know. You'd say, you clarify, or you determine, or, yeah, depending on the context.
Yes, but
what
have to
you
use
choose.
different
Yeah,
words.
you do. You can't, there's not a direct verb from precise. Okay. Let's have a look at a couple of things for essays. Last moment resources that, you know, the weekend is upon us, 24 degrees, 26 degrees, but I know you're going to be home in the dark in front of your computer, aren't you? Yeah, you're going to forget about that spring sunshine. You're going to be working on draft number 13, 14 of your essay. It's on now. It's coming on. Yeah. So, when you are huddled, huddled in the dark, right, on Sunday, 26 degrees outside, birds singing. Well, I'm going to give you a couple more websites that you can put your essay through before the final moment when you hand it up. The first one is a bit like the exam dictionary that I gave you. You know, your printed exam dictionary. Remember that one? Okay, I hope you've sort of actively used that somewhere a few times in your essay when you're thinking, oh, you know, how do I connect one idea with another? How do I express some certainty or some cause or solution? Okay. Well, there's a more developed online version, and it's very big writing. What's it say? Should be under writing. Okay, if we look under writing, we go past the referencing thing. There's the Harvard referencing guide, by the way. Come down to your vocabulary profiler, the one we were looking at on Monday. I'll make it bigger again. This camera can see it as well. What's it got? Here. That next one, there. The academic phrase bank. So, it is a bank, depository, of lots of academic phrases for all sorts of topics and functions. Click on it. What someone has done in Manchester University in the United Kingdom is a very good job of getting probably dozens of academic articles, and they've gone through and collected phrases that you see over and over and over again in academic writing, and they've put them into categories. So we can see categories across the top: introducing work, referring to sources, describing methods, reporting results, discussing findings, writing conclusions. Have a look at those stages. That's classic research, isn't it? If you're doing a master's or a PhD or even a, probably higher level third year or honours kind of essay, you introduce your topic, you refer to the literature that's already been written, what's called a literature review. You might have to look at the last 5-10 years of what researchers and thinkers have been writing. You refer to those. You then have your own research, so you have to describe the method of your research, whatever it is. Experimental, qualitative, whatever you're doing. You then report your results. You then discuss the results and what they show, what general idea they demonstrate, and then you write a conclusion. So you can look at these in these terms. If we go introducing work, okay, this is how to do it, just general comments there, but there. So they've got headings like establishing the importance of the topic. So now what I'm suggesting is, as I say, over this sunny weekend, you could get in there and you've got your topic, whether it's the Great Barrier Reef or abortion or whatever, climate change. You might get a nice little phrase in there. Look, establishing the importance of the topic for the world or society. Probably some good phrases there for your opening 2 or 3 lines in your essay. Now there are a lot there. Something is fundamental to. Tackling climate change is fundamental to human survival. Fundamental to. So you get your preposition. Pivotal role, etc. You're going to have. It's a lot of work. You're going to have to read them. And I'm not saying, seriously, you can't read all this on the weekend and work with it all, but you could work with a bit of it. But this is hopefully a resource that you could use for years. There's stuff in here, and it's not just academic. When you get into your profession and you're having to write an introduction and say why something's important, you've got all these phrases here. Now if we take one, like that one, X is an important component in the climate system and plays a key role in something or other. Now clearly, our whole idea of these are that they're transferable. Sometimes you have a mention of a specific topic like climate, but clearly we can say something is an important component. Component means like a part of. If we have an engine and you pull it apart, and you have 153 components, the parts, right? So it's an important part, but here's a nicer academic word. So interest rates are an important component in a national economy. You can just transfer it, can't you? You've got your collocation here though, important component. And they play a key role in stimulating business activity. Now, you don't necessarily, my point here is I've picked that one because it's a longer one. And my suggestion is, it's pretty obvious, you don't necessarily take the whole thing, do you? But in that one, we see 2 important collocations. There's one, there's another. Now you might just use that one, play a key role in, or you might use that. Just a lot of these you can split up, and it makes them more flexible and you can use them how you want. So, they're very transferable, as I say, lots of collocations all the way through them. That's why they're here in this list. I'll just go quickly through just some, not all, it'll take me too long to go through the functions so you get an idea. Okay, we're in the topic of introducing. So within introducing, you've got establishing the importance of the topic, that's for the world and people in general. This is for why is it important in this subject, psychology, economics, chemistry. There's another bunch of phrases there. X is a major area of interest within the field of, there you go, within the field of biomechanics, social psychology, whatever, but you've got your preposition, haven't you? Within the field of, two prepositions. So here, no such thing as plagiarism here. Plagiarism, copy and paste. I would encourage you to copy and paste as many of these as you can. This lifts you, that's the whole point of the website, isn't it? So collocations, you should be copying and pasting, like probably from memory, but even from websites like this. So use as much as you can. Same with this thing. Copy and paste from that as much as you can. That's how you build rich vocabulary and structures. Okay, establishing the importance in a time frame. This is where, you know, one of the most important events of the 70s was, or has led to, here's a nice collocation, recent developments, collocation, in the field of whole collocation have led to collocation, renewed interest in, nice collocation. So new findings, suddenly everybody's got this new interest, renewed interest in this topic. Synopsis means summary. Yeah, so there's a whole lot of stuff there. Highlighting a problem. Often your essay or your work will be about, okay, here's this research problem, it's a gap, it's a problem in the knowledge, how do we fix it? Some nice phrases here about problems, like major challenge, extremely harmful, technically challenging, proven to be unreliable, a whole lot of collocations about problems there. Now, here, highlighting a controversy. What are you writing at the moment? You're writing on a controversial topic. There might be quite a lot of collocations in there you might be able to use. Previous research, general reference, inadequacies of, okay, critical thinking. You can see an inadequacy of previous research. You know, oh, there was a biased sample. That sample size wasn't big enough. There was a problem with the control group. There's a whole lot of phrases there about being critical. Knowledge gap. Few studies have, so not enough studies in a certain area. Few studies have investigated something. The evidence for this relationship is inconclusive. Great collocation, inconclusive evidence. Okay, here's one for your thesis statement, indicating the focus, aim or argument of a paper. In this paper I argue that. In this essay I attempt to defend the view that, da da da. The aim of this essay is to explore, nice verb. Explore is often a good verb to use. This paper, this essay, this argument, da da da. Here's a whole lot of really good verbs. Argues, gives an account, discusses, analyses, assesses, compares, investigates. Purpose of research, etc. Goes on and on. You can see it, it's huge. Reasons for personal interest. There's a nice one for your presentation. Remember we talked yesterday about, you know, often just giving that little personal touch at the beginning. Could be a phrase there you like to use. The structure, again, thesis statement stuff, or your structure slide for your PowerPoint, outlining structure. Keywords, where you need to define things for your audience, your reader, some phrases there. Okay, so that's just in that section there, introducing, and it goes on across there. And then there are more functions down the side here. So this one is fairly important when, especially next term, when we get into critical thinking and writing a critical review, where you're going to have to analyse and criticise something. So being critical, introducing questions and problems about the theory or the argument, or the method or the practice. So you're being critical of a theory here, more the ideas. Here you're being critical of some research method or the way it was conducted. Different phrases. Identifying weaknesses. This is quite nice. Somebody or other, the paper, the book, fails to or makes no attempt to, lots of verbs here. Specify, quantify, ascertain, address, offer, determine. Constructive suggestions, always useful. Inadequacies. Hey? Lynn, I've got many, many things to show you. I can't show you everything within the first few weeks. And look, this is also, remember, you've got a second chance. Essay number 2 is coming up. All right? Now, the day you hand up your essay, Monday, is the day in the computer room. I'm going to show you, I think I've shown you already, but I'll show you again, the list of public intellectuals. And the door is open, the field is open for you to select your public intellectual. All right, so the moment we finish essay 1, essay 2 starts. Okay. So if on the weekend you want to get ahead of the pack and get in and select your public intellectual, there will only be one intellectual per person. This time we've had 2 people could do the same topic, like we've had gay marriage. Okay, because on topics usually we get different treatment. When we've got a person, it's a bit difficult to double up with people. You tend to get too much repetitive information. So, you know, if you really want a particular person, have a look over the weekend, tell me Monday. I'll show you where it is. Anyway, look, general criticism, etc. And you've got a whole lot of other, I won't go through it anymore, I think you get the idea. You get being critical, being cautious, hedging. I will go into this one because it's important. Being cautious, hedging. It is believed that, not it is known. It is believed. Different, isn't it? It is thought. It's being reported that, but you're not necessarily saying it's true. You're using these careful verbs. Almost certainly, probably, could be, maybe, might be, modals. It's almost certain, likely, maybe, could be that more adverbial structures. Various.
When we write the essay, if we want to say something, if, like example, if we read an article, newspaper article, if we say like the one,
Yeah. Further.
yeah, according to the green left weekly or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that still alright?
Sure. Yeah.
Like
you can,
reference, we can
yeah.
use the
In Green Left Weekly, you tend to get an individual author, so it's better to say according to King, according to Clark,
yeah.
da-da, yeah.
But
But if
if we
you can't,
then we can use
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And this is indexed reference according to Smith 2002.
Yeah, that's right. You'd have to have your,
So this
for
is,
that, you'd have to have your source, wouldn't you?
So
And
I
your
didn't
in-text.
need to put it Smith between brackets.
No, because you need it outside the brackets because it's part of the grammar of the sentence.
So according to.
Yeah, according to, and then the name of the person, that's not in brackets, and then you put date in brackets. If you want to do it like that, that is author prominent, isn't it? You're focusing on who said it, according to King, according to Clark, and the brackets go around the date and the page only.
And may I use the website name, the name of website instead of using this? There is
In some cases, you would have to do that if you don't have an individual.
Cambridge University 2000.
That's right, yeah, yeah.
Another thing I need to ask, I can use it after this course, all this.
The Moodle is open after this course. I've mentioned this a few times, but I'm happy to say it again.
Because when you finish the TAFE,
No. You are enrolled in a particular way at the moment. When your enrolment finishes, you'll be cut off the Moodle, right, in the way that you are in it now. But you can then, in the last few weeks, I'll show you how to log in as a guest. It's quite simple. You just go to log in, and it says log in as guest, and you log in as guest. And you just have to type, it'll say search for course. You know how at the moment automatically you get the diploma. That's because you're enrolled. So once you lose your enrolment, you're going to have to log in as guest, and there's just an extra step, which is you log in as guest, and it will say search for course. You won't get the diploma coming up. You just have to put JR, there's no other course that has that in the title, and up will come Diploma of English Proficiency JR, click on that, you're in. So that will remain open.
Could you please show me?
Yeah, okay.
Not there.
Yeah,
Everything
I'll
cannot
try,
last
yeah.
because it is good for
Sure.
for me after class. I
Yes,
use
I
because-
would hope everyone would continue to use it in some way.
Yeah, I notice lots of information and my time is limited now.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
In the future I have time, so I keep practice English.
Sure, great.